Have you ever wondered if a golf ball that costs just $1 could actually be any good? Well, you're not going to believe this, but Amazon just threw their hat in the ring with a new contender that might just shake things up. We're talking about the brand new Amazon Basics Core Soft, and it's already making some serious noise. So let's find out if the hype is real.
So that's the big question, right? Can a $1 golf ball from Amazon really stand up to a beloved fan favorite? We are about to find out. This is kind of like a classic David versus Goliath story. You know, if Goliath was also really affordable. Let the showdown begin.
All right, first up in the ring, we've got the challenger, the Amazon Basics Core Soft. Now, forget all the flashy packaging, forget the big promises. This ball is all about one thing, and that's simplicity. It's like the plain white t-shirt of golf balls. But the real question is, does it actually perform? When you get up close, all you see is that little Amazon smile and the name Core Soft. And that's about it. But here's what's so surprising. It feels solid, you know? It's got this satisfying firmness to it. It's nothing like those rock hard range balls. Honestly, for the price, the quality feels pretty impressive right out of the box.
And here it is, the big headline, $1. That's it. For what you'd pay for a cheap cup of coffee, you can get a handful of these things. Look, for the average golfer, and let's be honest, that's most of us, who loses a few balls every round, this isn't just a good deal, it's an absolute game changer for your wallet. But hey, a low price doesn't mean a thing if it doesn't perform on the course. So how does this new kid on the block stack up against the reigning undisputed king of budget golf balls? It is time for the tale of the tape. Amazon versus Kirkland. And here comes the champion, the Kirkland Signature V3.5. If you're a savvy golfer, you already know all about this ball. It's got this huge cult following because it delivers premium tour-level performance without that insane price tag. This is the ball that Amazon has to beat. So what's the secret to Kirkland's success? Well, a big part of it is its urethane cover. This is the same kind of material you find on the super expensive top-tier tour-level balls. It's what gives you that buttery soft feel and all the spin you need to get the ball to check up and stop right next to the pin. Of course, that premium cover does come at a bit of a cost. I mean, the Kirkland is still a fantastic deal at about $1.67 per ball, but Amazon just swoops in and undercuts it by a lot. Now, that 67-cent difference might not seem like a big deal, but trust me, if you have a tendency to find the water hazards, it adds up fast. But let's put price and materials aside for a second, because this is where the plot really thickens. These two competitors, who seem like they're from completely different worlds, actually share a pretty surprising secret, one that connects them in a way you would probably never guess. Believe it or not, both of these balls roll off the assembly line at the exact same factory in Vietnam. And get this, it's a factory that also makes balls for some of the biggest names in golf. So what is really going on here? Are they basically the same ball, just in a different box? To find out, we've got to look inside. All right, it's time for a little golf ball surgery. To really truly understand the difference between these two, we need to cut them open and see what's going on under the hood. Okay, let's start with the Kirkland. You crack this thing open, and what you find is a pretty sophisticated three-piece construction. You've got that urethane cover on the outside, then an inner gray mantle layer, and a solid bright blue core. This is classic tour ball design, and it's engineered to give you that perfect mix of distance off the tee and control around the greens. Now, let's take a look at the Amazon ball. Whoa! It's a much simpler two-piece design. There's a very thin outer cover, and then this huge light blue core. And when you touch the core, it is incredibly soft. Almost feels like one of those little stress balls. This simplicity is almost definitely how they keep the cost so ridiculously low. So what we have is a complex three-piece ball versus a super simple two-piece ball. But what does that actually mean when you're out on the course? Let's talk about performance and, just as importantly, durability. So here's the potential trade-off with the Amazon ball. That super thin outer layer might feel great, but is it going to hold up after you thin an iron shot or catch it a little heavy out of a bunker? Durability is a real question mark here, especially when you compare it to the proven toughness of the Kirkland ball. So who should be playing this ball? Well, that super soft core points to a low compression design. Think of compression as just how much the ball squishes when you hit it. A lower number is way better for players with slower swing speeds, like a lot of beginners or senior golfers.
It helps them get the ball up in the air a lot more easily.
Okay, and this is where things get really, really interesting. You'd expect the more complex Kirkland ball to just dominate in performance, right? Well, some of the early tests are showing something pretty shocking. The Amazon ball is actually keeping up, and in some cases, it's even flying a little higher and spinning a little more than the Kirkland. For a $1 ball, that is almost unbelievable.
Okay, we've looked at the price, the materials, the construction, and the early performance data. It is time to put it all together and deliver the final verdict in our big budget ball showdown.
Let's break it down real quick. Price? Oh, that's Amazon. Hands down, no contest. Spin and control around the greens? Well, the Kirkland's fancy urethane cover gives it the clear advantage there. Durability? Again, you gotta give it to Kirkland's proven design. But when you talk about pure raw value, it's basically a dead heat. It really just comes down to what you prioritize as a golfer.
And that really brings us to our final takeaway here. The Kirkland Signature is still the better all-around golf ball. No doubt about it, especially for players who really want that maximum greenside spin and proven durability. But for those casual rounds, for beginners, or for anyone who tends to lose a few balls and doesn't want to feel bad about it, the Amazon Basics ball is an absolutely incredible, unbeatable value. So there you have it, a new king of value in the golf world. But let's be real for a second. Course Soft is kind of a boring name, right? Somebody online suggested calling it the Prime V1, and honestly, I love it. So I'm curious, what would you call this $1 wonder? Let us know.